Jamaica Kincaid is an Afro-Caribbean writer whose works tend to focus on post-colonial structures and feminism. She's popularly known for her memoir, My Brother, her works, Lucy, and A Small Place. Many scholars write about how Kincaid's writing opposes post-colonial structures, misogyny, homophobia, and even anti-Caribbeanist ideologies. In Jamaica, there are two particular law that systemically affects or promotes homophobia and sexism. The first is the Offences Against the Persons Act and the Charter of Fundamental Freedom of Rights. The Offences Against the Persons Act was a law inherited from Britain, and when Jamaica gained its independence in 1962, it kept that law. And this law bans homosexuality and abortion. Now, there's also the Charter of Fundamental Freedom of Rights, which was a law that was established in 2011 after a series of conversations about Jamaican rights being protected. Many advocates wanted the LGBTQ community and women's reproductive rights to be included in the protection of the Charter of Fundamental Freedom of Rights. However, that didn't necessarily work out because legal groups argued that to protect discrimination against homosexuality and to protect women's reproductive rights would mean that it's a threat to the heterosexual and religious communities, and a woman would not necessarily be doing her true purpose. We see here that there's a legacy of homophobic and sexist tendencies, which is why I want to use Jamaica Kincaid's writing and relate it to the law. I'm arguing that Jamaica Kincaid's literature opposes legal arguments against the homophobic and sexist rhetoric stemming from the legal discourse of these two laws. So, what does Jamaica Kincaid's writing argue against what is said about these two laws and what is said about homosexuality and what is said about abortion? That is what my topic relates to. The significance of this topic is that my paper, when we look at a country whose homophobia pervades through the law, we have to look at the existing forms of literature and the resistance and apply it to the law. My paper highlights a combat between the law and the literature and brings those two together. People should care because if we look at how exactly our country is shaped, then we can apply the resistance to it. Kincaid is popular, but her works can be used and should be used for continuing the combats against the homophobic and sexist discourse. We know that her literature is like, no, I do not support homophobia and sexism, but does she say that in the law? And how exactly does her novel say it? That's what I want to find out. Thank you.